What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sam Talks Nerdy. I hope you're happy, doing well, dominating life, crushing it. It is that time once again. It's time for the monthly wrap up. We'll be taking at news posted during December. Without any further delay, let's get into it because we got quite a bit to talk about. First off, according to Daniel RPK, Marvel is developing a Avengers Into Fear TV series. Avengers Into Fear was a comic series back in the day that explored the monster side of the Marvel Universe. So it explored characters like Man-Thing, Morbin Time, Blade, and I do think that a sort of anthology series or a series exploring where there's a episode for each character would be a good way to explore the more paranormal monster side of the MCU. So I'm trying to think how best to describe this. It's just I do think that a sort of it's not a clip show, but it's a show where each episode focuses on a different character. Like that would be a good way to explore all these different characters and not have to do a project for Morbius, for Man-Thing, for Ghost Rider. Just we can have a show or a season to set up all these characters and move on. Avoid the Marvel fatigue. For example, like I said, we could have an episode focused on Man-Thing, and then next episode could be about Ghost Rider, then after that could be about Hellstrom, and this is me after I did a quick Google on this series. I would totally be down for this kind of show. Werewolf by Night has shown that people have an interest in this side of the Marvel Universe, and they really should build this up more. For our last bit of Marvel Paranormal Monster news, Bethesda is developing a Blade video. This is crazy because on my Instagram I did a post about hey, which character do you want to see get a video game, and Blade was one of those characters, and then a few weeks later a Blade game is announced. Just mind-blowing. What sucks is that it looks like this is going to be a Xbox exclusive, and I own a PlayStation, so I am the big time sad. Does anyone even remember that show, Big Time Rush? We got a couple bits of news for Superman Legacy to talk about. First, and this also comes from Daniel RPK, but it looks like Supergirl will be appearing in Superman Legacy. Now, this is kind of interesting because originally it wasn't really a sure thing, it was just a rumor. But then just previously, and this is bleeding into January, so I might have to avoid talking about this in the next monthly wrap-up, but it does look like they are casting for Supergirl because Deadline reported that, they are casting, and actresses such as Amelia Alcock, Amelia Jones, and Meg Donnelly are in the running. And while I am open to this idea because this could very well lead into Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, that's also another hero character in Superman Legacy because, let's count them out. Metamorpho, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, and the Engineer. That is 5 or so heroes. Tack on Supergirl, that makes 6. But then again, I doubt if they do have Supergirl, it'll be a huge role. She might pop up for a cameo, and then that's to set up Supergirl Woman Tomorrow, and then boom, that's the next movie, and we just move on. But I'm gonna choose to stay. I'm gonna choose to have faith in James Gunn. Put out those positive vibes for the DC to succeed. None of that negativity. Just we need to push out the positivity. Just positive energy, guys. Positive energy. Deadline shared that Sean Gunn will play Maxwell Lord in the DCU, and apparently he will be name dropped in Superman Legacy, then appear later down the line in another project. Hopefully a Blue Beetle project. Fingers crossed. And this has caused some people to be confused since he's already in Creature Commandos voicing both Weasel and G.I. Robot, but according to James Gunn, voice actors can double dip in the MCU, meaning they can voice a character and then also play a completely different character in live action. So don't expect to see David Harbour, who's voicing Frankenstein in Creature Commandos, to pop up in Lanterns as Kilowog. Wait a second. Lizzie Broadway wants to play Spider-Gwen in live action, and nothing much to really say when it comes to this bit of news. Just, she has the looks. I'm sure she would be great in the role, but I'm just not really familiar with her acting. In fact, I never even heard of her until this bit of news. We have another report from Daniel RPK saying that both Ant-Man and Daredevil will be in Spider-Man 4. And this is just a roller coaster with this movie because One second, it's a multiverse film that's going to introduce a Sony character that and then also lead into Kane Dynasty and Secret Wars, and then the next second, it's back to being a street level movie with Daredevil and Kingpin. And as of now, it sounds like Spider-Man 4 is going to be a street level story adapting the Devil's Reign story arc. And what is the Devil's Reign story arc, you are not asking? Well, I will gladly tell you. Devil's Reign is a story. It's a story about Kingpin, who was mayor at the time, outlawing vigilantes and superheroes and using villains and the Thunderbolts to hunt them down. Daredevil, I can see fitting into this easily because street level movie, Kingpin, just it all goes together. But Ant-Man, not so much. I mean, people have made the case of how this movie could be about Spider-Man kind of trying to choose between should he be a street level hero or an Avenger, and like Daredevil will represent the street level part of him, and then Ant-Man will represent the Avenger part of him, or maybe Spider-Man needs help from the Avengers, so he goes to Ant-Man, and he's very skeptical because he's already got in trouble with the law once, and he doesn't want a repeat of that. Like I said, this movie is just. It's always something almost every week with Spider-Man 4. It's pretty much up there with my annoyment or frustration with the Fantastic Four of just constant news, constant rumors, everything's always changing, and you just don't know what to believe in anymore. We have a couple bits of Batman news to talk about. First off, Alan Ritchson has expressed interest in playing Batman in the DCU, even saying, with all the rumors that I'm supposed to be playing Batman, how can I knock Batman? I would love to play Batman. This has gotten mixed reception. Can he do it? Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, watch him in Reacher. That is basically Batman, but sans the cape, cowl, and buttload of money. And plus, he has the Batman physique. I mean, dude is a unit. He's like probably the real life version of a Jim Lee Batman drawing. But I feel like there are other characters he could play. Like, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing him as Aquaman again, or Green Arrow, or Hawkman, like some characters I mentioned in the original short I did. And he's not really my top choice for Batman. My top choices are Jensen Ackles, Tom Bateman, and Ethan Peck, who plays Spock in Star Trek The Strange New Worlds. And honestly, when it comes to Ethan Peck, it's more of just like having someone who's closer in age to David Cornsweet. And plus, I mean, he has the voice and he has the looks to be a pretty good Bruce Wayne. This next bit of news threw a lot of us, and this was confirmed by James Gunn, that the Arkham series, which we all thought was going to be set in the Matt Reeves Batman universe, is actually going to be set in the DCU. And apparently Matt Reeves will still be doing it, and he could do other DCU projects. While this did throw me for a quick second, I immediately went from confused and what to, oh my god, this is perfect. Because when we think about it, an Arkham Asylum show exploring all of Batman's rogues gallery without a Batman movie, I mean, we can get more Batman villains without having to wait for a Batman movie every X amount of years. Like, this is a great way to explore. Just basically, this is a good way for us to get more Batman villains that we maybe won't get in the DCU in a Batman movie. And plus, this could be a good way to get some flashbacks to the early days of DCU Batman. For example, maybe we could see a flashback of him first encountering the Joker, Two-Face. Maybe we get the DCU equivalent to Almost God in one of the best Batman the Animated Series episodes of all time. And this could also allow us to see some early days of the Bat Family. I mean, imagine a flashback with a young Dick Grayson, and for all we know, this could come before Batman Brave and the Bold. We'll have to see. James Gunn did share on Threads that other projects will be going into production this year. So we'll just have to wait and see, but I honestly I would not be opposed to us getting an Arkham Asylum show before Batman Brave and the Bold, because this could set up Batman, his entire rogues gallery, and then maybe after Arkham Asylum we get Batman Brave and the Bold. I'm excited. I am excited for the possibilities this show can bring to the DCU. Because rumors and reports for the MCU X-Men from Daniel RPK. First up, Mr. Sinister will be the villain of the first X-Men film, because apparently they want to save Magneto for a Brotherhood of Evil Mutants movie. And I am totally game for Mr. Sinister to be the villain of this X-Men film, because he is long overdue for a live-action appearance. I mean, he's almost appeared so many times, but then it's either it gets changed, cut, scrapped for a different story. I mean, I am still peeved about the ending of X-Men Apocalypse, where they blatantly hinted that, hey, he's going to be the next villain, and then we get a second telling of the Dark Phoenix saga. I am still mad about that. How vast and large the immune part of the Marvel Universe is, it does make sense that maybe they want to have a lot of projects to properly build up a lot of these different elements, groups, and factions. And I do believe that the current plan for after the Multiverse Saga is to have the mutants take front and center. So we'll be getting a lot more mutant projects and a lot less Avenger projects, a lot less Shang-Chi, so on and so forth. According to Can We Get Toast, we will see Iron Fist or a Iron Fist in the Eyes of Wakanda TV series on Disney+. This last bit of news here is really interesting. Mads Mikkelsen will be returning to the MCU in a different role and not as Caecilius. But it's interesting that he could return to the MCU. I mean, Caecilius wasn't a minor character, he was the villain of Doctor Strange. Like, this isn't like Alfred Woodard, who was in Civil War as a minor character and then later appears in Luke Cage as a big bad. I'm curious how this will go if this does turn out to be true. I mean, I'm open to it. He's a good actor, and I would love to see him as Doctor Doom. And that will be it for today. Thank you for watching or listening if you're listening via my podcast. If you're listening via my podcast, make sure to do the usual stuff. Follow me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Leave me a 5-star rating and good review where you can. Or also feel free to leave me a voice message on Anchor. If you're watching me on YouTube, make sure to check out my review of Echo and some of my other YouTube videos. And also make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, stay well, stay healthy, be cool and stay in school, don't do drugs, and I will see you or talk to you next time. Peace out.